for that bus, mate.
It's 11:30 a.m. Gavin Bassey and Phil Roberts are the two firefighters on Old Swan's pump engine.
I think it's going to be the big one today. Let's go. Come on off, wit. Right. Shouldn't be on the bloody road, should they?
Leading firefighter Paul Newnes is in charge of the pump.
Who's the call from, Paul, does it say?
Probably better off heading down the other way.
I would have gone down Piggy Lane, yeah.
The first call of the day is to reports of smoke coming from a railway line. The question is how to get there.
Because the access is at the bottom, innit?
You can't actually get down onto the line.
You can? The access tunnel is at the bottom, not down by the very back on the whole pitch.
Whoa, driver, whoa!
The Old Swan pump is the busiest fire engine on Merseyside. It deals with over 2,000 calls every year.
The report of an electrical box or something on the railway on fire.
The call to the railway line is one of a dozen that the Brigade Central Control Room is dealing with at the moment.
Tom, will you go on to control? Ask them where the calls come from and see if there's a better location over.
It's fairly, like, believable, isn't it? Electric box, something like that, on fire. See something?
See smoke by that bridge, but it seems to be coming from the right above it, not on the line. If you just look there above the bridge now and then, you get a bit.
Walk down there, eh? That's the back of the windows place, isn't it, yeah? Hey, I got some cheap windows in there, you know.
Hello, Fire Brigade. OK, calm down. Just give me the address slowly. All right, now calm down. The Fire Brigade's on the way to you.
Red Watch's call to the railway is one of over 50,000 taken every year by Central Control.
What road is that on, please?
A team from the Wirral have been sent to an emergency at the docks.
Where is it, please?
A 17-ton load of chemicals has been badly damaged in transit and a leak found. John Robinson is the officer in charge.
We're unable to determine where the motor's coming from exactly.
Yeah, you just take your time, Ian. If necessary, remove other drums or containers so that you can ascertain exactly where the leak is and what the chemicals are sprayed over.
What we're doing is we're going in to assist the other two lads that have just gone in. We want to get to the damaged containers, find out how damaged they are, what it is that's leaking.
It could be toxic in the atmosphere, there could be flammable substances. There's a whole mixture of chemicals on this shipment. Until we've got every drum out and checked it, we can't be sure what the problem exactly is with the leakage.
And it's secured and it's absolutely full to the rim.
Get another 4 men ready, bridge with boxes and suits.
Get man with the suits, get them on, Steve.
Certainly. The suit that we're using is a gas-tight suit, which gives complete protection against any hazardous gases as well as chemical spillages. It's jam-packed, absolutely packed. 45-gallon drums, 5-gallon 10, etc.
As soon as they hit the damaged one, we need to know what it contains.
Gavin and Paul still haven't found the source of the smoke.
We're going back up here.
Get what?
Say that again, Tom, over.
Make it snappy. The signal box is blazing over.
The signal box is blazing over. Yeah, the signal box is blazing over. Where is it, Tom? That's a crap address, that, isn't it?
The blazing signal box turns out to be an electrical junction box. It could be carrying up to 650 volts at a time.
Hang on, now watch out, because that is wired there, isn't it? We don't know if it's live or not. So there's a lot of wiring involved, but we don't know if it's live or not. So we've got to wait for the railway people to say if it's what to do, basically. All I'm thinking, Paul, is that is wire there, mate, running down the edge.
This is rail engineer, Piggy Lane.
I don't think Paul wants to risk putting water on it in case it goes worse or in case someone gets hurt. Just watch what you're doing there, Phil.
looks like malicious ignition. It looks like some probably kids have put a tyre against the box and set it on fire. He's done another one further along the way by the look of it. Hey there, Gavin's gone down.
You know what, do the mum and dad know where they are, like? Dinner time? Tuesday morning, who wants to set fire to an embankment?
Talk to the railway engineers. They've stated that they let these off, so we can put it off now.
Phil's a week away from receiving his Long Service Award after 20 years with the fire brigade.
Do I worry? Think I lost that with nothing else? Stress. Stress of the fire brigade. Every minute.
You put a claim in?
I've got a wig. I usually wear that when I go out. But when I'm in work, you know.
I thought you had it on, Phil.
Well, look at that man in the front. It gets him.
Look at that. Imagine if he was the LF, he'd be bald as a goose.
I would. I just can't take it.
I think you've got a certain je ne sais quoi.
The only thing I'm scared of when I go down there is 1, the drop.
Yeah.
2, the trains, and 3, the electricity.
Yeah,
other than that, it's all right.
Other than that, like, what else you got to worry about?
Oh, bit of fire, yeah.
Fire.
But I'm used to fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
Baby, fire. Ha, ha, ha.
The chauffeur will take you back.
We need tea bags.
Thank you. Hello, fire brigade. What district is it? Thank you, we're on the way.
Southend 232 alarms actuating Hall of Residence.
Fight fires!
Every time Red Watch have been called to the halls of residence in the past, it's been a false alarm.
To take the lens cap off. Do-da. 5 times I told her to take the lens cap. Oh, the do-da day. Hey. Oh, the do-da day. Hey. Is it the halls of residence we're going to? Miles away.
You've really got to go with the blue lights, because you don't know at any one time what you're going to, so you can't take the chance, so everything's treated the same.
He just stayed still rather than try and commit themselves to make a movement. Let me do the moving. No point in getting 2 drivers doing totally different things. But it just leaves me stuck in the middle.
Tommy's been driving fire engines for 15 years.
See what I mean? Not looking.
Oh, she chased you, Tom.
2 sets of air horns on the machine. One the driver operates and one the officer in charge of it. They work independently of each other, you know.
Red Watch are being called across to the other side of the city to cover for one of the local crews already on an emergency.
We're always here. For whatever reason, they set the alarms off, break the glass, cook in, and it sets the alarm off. I think. Just might say what it is now.
Although it looks like it's another false alarm, they still have to search the building. Back at the docks, the teams discovered that 2 of the 5 chemicals on the shipment are toxic. Local residents have been told to stay indoors and keep windows shut.
It's liquid dripping out by the back axle.
Every firefighter searching for the leaking drum wears a gas-tight suit and breathing apparatus, which can only be worn for 40 minutes. With just 36 of these suits in the brigade, there's only limited time to identify the leak.
How does it feel with all that on?
Awkward is the word.
A lot warmer than we feel.
Back at the university, the search of the halls of residence has revealed the cause of the false alarm: burnt toast.
You come to one, it's okay. But when you come to the likes of this place 10 times a week, as a lot of these lads do, we're far away, it becomes frustrating then. Because you drive through the lights exactly the same speed, you chop the cars up, whatever you do, exactly the same speed to come to that 10 times a week, and that's frustrating.
Paul used to be a fire hero. Cheated death on numerous occasions, haven't you, Paul? Show you, fire hero cheats death. Doesn't forget that. Fire hero cheats death. Front page of the Echo.
Hello, boys.
Well,
We're doing much.
no, look.
We haven't stopped.
Yeah.
You lads have been sitting there doing nothing.
We're just trying to calm down. We've been stressed out all morning.
Everybody stop again. We're off.
Red Watch can now head back across town, leaving the local crew to cover the area.
We've got to go to the Swan for spuds.
They are ugly, aren't they?
Ugliest crew in the brigade, that.
They have to put them on the outskirts of the city because they were scaring children in the city centre. Weren't they, Phil? You remember it in the Echo? The risks you run, you see.
This is it.
Fellas join the job, they're fairly okay looking, you know what I mean? Soon tail off, you know what I mean? Look at Phil. Phil used to be a male model.
4 hours after the chemical leak was discovered, John Robinson and his team are no nearer to finding out whether the leak is toxic. Logistical problems are continuing to hamper their work.
We're trying to speed operations up now. The handball in the mouse hasn't worked because we're running short of this particular type of chemical suit. Yeah, do what you can, please, John.
Do you want me to rig in the set?
I want you to rig in the set.
Set the suit.
Then we're going to be able to access that thing. I've had a quick refresher off the chap, so we'll give it a go. It might be quicker with getting the pallets off.
Each gas-tight suit must be specially cleaned before it can be used again. As they reach the end of their supply, the operation becomes a race against time.
How many drums are leaking and roughly what quantity of chemical has been spilt over?
At the moment, we've only got one leaking. It's not of the same consistency or color as the original spillage. Over.
Finally, a leaking drum has been found.
It's a long name. Tetrachloroethylene.
Right, the stuff that they've found leaking is tetrachloroethylene. It is toxic.
It only took Red Watch 4 minutes to get across town to the false alarm. The journey back took them half an hour.
Oh! Nearly run him over. You got an over doing that, you know.
Can't park there, you know, love.
Stay in here.
Back it up. You have to reverse it. Very unusual procedure. Reversing down this alleyway to get in these engine house doors, which are dead tight.
Old Swan Fire Station is the oldest working station in the country.
It was built for when we had the horse-drawn appliances. And like, it's about 100 years old, the station, you know, so... How tight it is. The drivers have to be pretty good to back in.
Hello, Fire Brigade. Thank you. What's the address of the fire? And what's on fire?
Calls from a 260 square mile area are taken by control and passed on to all of the brigade's 27 fire stations and 220 firefighters.
Hello, West 41 fire call over.
Except, for the moment, Red Watch.
The poems of William Blake now on BBC 2 in English file.
Old Swan is usually the busiest station in the Merseyside area.
There's something unromantic in passion.
Oh, sweetie, not wrong. It's a clean one. Both these boys. Something one. This could be the big one.
Phil's first call of the afternoon is to a playing field next to the local hospital.
They're landing, bringing some form of casualty, possibly someone who needs special surgery or something. And whenever the helicopters land, we have to be in attendance with the ambulance. There's a risk of them crashing or whatever, or catching fire. We always come here.
We've come to pick up a baby, apparently a one-day-old baby that's got severe breathing problems. Leicester's got a very good baby care unit, which is why we brought the team here with their incubator to take them back to Leicester.
Use a hand, lads.
The incubator, which will be used to take the baby to Leicester, weighs 150 kilograms, as much as 2 adults.
Trying to phone our coordinating authority, people that control us, to let them know we're on the ground and we expect to be about half an hour here. Modern technology. Modern.
Old Swan's other engine has been given its third fire call of the day.
So it's a mad day for driving. Sun's brought a few of the knotters out, I think. We're going to Duffcott Shops, car on fire at the rear of Duffcott Shops.
We're all gonna die.
What's going on today?
What's wrong with everyone?
She saw us parking space, so she thought she could beat us. I think she did.
Down there, left. Yeah.
Down there.
Yeah, they're looking down there.
Done it very well. I'm still going.
Where's the doors?
The doors. Maybe he was getting ready for the summer.
Someone's up the doors.
We got told it was a car on fire, but as you can see, it's not on fire. Looks like it's been stolen, stripped and dumped.
Motor car is not on fire, but vehicle is abandoned.
We just requested the police, let them come along, tow it away. We'll just stand by for a while till they get here, so that nobody does come back and set it on fire.
Somehow the engine was still running. The key was out, the door being smashed up there, look. All the ignition's hanging off. The engine's still running? Yeah.
With the engine running and no key in the ignition, the only way to turn the car off is to disconnect the battery.
We've been contacted the police. They won't be attending.
There's no controls available. We're going to smash that door. I know they will, mate, but we can't babysit the car, can we?
What? You have to go then.
Did you tell them that they're going to the hostile natives? Seriously, have you told them that the natives are hostile and the car will be on fire in 5 minutes of leaving here?
Yeah, they know what's going on. Probably, but it's not our job to babysit the car, is it? There's other things to do. Let's go.
Mount. Let's go. Did you tell them that the natives were restless, Andy? I would have.
It's not exactly a crowd of youths hanging around us, is there, with matches in the pockets.
Well, yeah, just come back and said that windscreen will be in a minute.
Chances are we might be back to it, but...
Okay. Okay.
The crew have no option but to leave the car. They have to be back on station for other emergency calls.
I guarantee you go back to that car now, it'll be destroyed. All the windows will be in, the panels will be in, the radio will be gone, the battery will be gone. It's not our fault. I'm not saying it's our fault. It's not our job. Police are not. I know they're not ours, but it just annoys me.
There's no patrols available at the moment, and they'll get someone there as soon as they can.
All right, yeah, it's just for your information more than ours. I mean,
all right. Okay. All right, then. All right. Bye.
The helicopter's anticipated half-hour wait has turned out to be something of an underestimate.
We're still over at Liverpool. It's probably going to be about 4:15 before we get airborne. So it's going to be about 6:30 before we have dinner.
Is there any chance of a tray of tea?
Tray of tea? How many?
Can we manage 8?
8?
And if you could make sure that Dane's got tea on by the time we get back with our compliments.
At the docks, one leaking chemical drum has been identified as toxic, but there could be a second leak. If leaking chemicals were to mix, the dangers could be even greater. The teams have now been here for 6 hours.
4 appliances are en route or have just arrived, so that the crews that were here first of all will then be relieved and can go back to station and get some refreshment. Fortunately, I'm one of the lucky ones that are going back imminently.
Peter, can you grab a couple of your lads? Yeah.
The new officer in charge is Paul Darling.
There's various products on there in different drums, but these particular, it's these 32 drums that represent a danger, right? Now, what he wants you to do, is to go over there amongst all that lot and basically tick off 32 drums. And if we've got the 32 on the floor, we don't need to unload any more.
Where'd you get all that from?
Next door, put one to the gate.
Well done.
Oh, good man. Yeah, Tom. Yours is in the blue mug for you.
Oh, I want a guy. Little one. What a man.
Biscuits, Pete. Well, that didn't catch his biscuits this time.
Oh, you're not very... wrong with you,
There's biscuits here, but I think they're the pilots.
Oh, yeah, they'll do.
Who are these biscuits I've been sitting on?
Go on, help yourself.
Oh, what a guy.
2.5 hours and 16 mugs of tea after touching down, the helicopter's new charge is now on her way from the hospital.
Give it 10 minutes and then we'll start final walk around and keep the children away and start settling in.
Get these kids out first.
Oh, you can leave the big kids.
We come with you.
If you want to.
Who's going to fly it?
We'll have a little go. You'll be sure the volunteers there.
10 hours after the fire brigade were called to the chemical leak, and the elusive drums have still not been accounted for. 40 firefighters have been involved in the operation so far.
No. Get them dressed back up again. Well, some of these lads are getting dressed.
Okay.
All right. Because the job's lasted so long, and probably the chief's been informed at this point, we're running out of bloody gas-tight suits. It's like, you know, he wants action. We've identified, we spent all day digging in there, right? Yeah. Trying to locate 32 drums. We've been working it out, but we've had some logistical problems with suits and so on. The drums that are causing concern have got another pallet on the top of them, so they're working their way down to get at them, because we've got to ensure. It's taking ages, it's awkward working in the suits.
One-day-old Jasmine Farhan has arrived at the heliport for the second stage of her journey to Leicester.
I believe so. Okay.
We'll be taking off straight ahead, probably going just to the right of the chimney. So we don't want anybody in front of us.
Okay.
And if they're behind us, then they'll get an awful lot of downwash, so it won't be very pleasant. So keep well out to the side.
Okay. On the floor,
Jasmine has breathing difficulties. Her lungs aren't strong enough to pump oxygen into her bloodstream. A specialist procedure available in Leicester may be able to help.
3, 1, 2, 3.
Lovely.
Keep it steady. Level.
Okay, stop pushing. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, a bit more on the side. Yeah.
The flight to Leicester will take 45 minutes. Because of Jasmine's condition, the helicopter won't be able to fly above 500 feet.
Up the little baby's all right.
Right to the side and a little
yeah. Tiny, tiny. There she goes. He wasn't wrong about the downwash, was he? The fella who gave us the cups of tea said last time there was one here, a fireman had to grab a kid, went running over to try and touch the helicopter as it took off. Time for the toilet, go on the toilet.
Back at the docks, the final drum of the second toxic chemical has been found, undamaged.
We've identified the chemical that was causing us concern, and as far as we can see, none of the containers are leaking. Right. But just as an added precaution, we've sent firefighters in the appropriate level of protection, and we just want to see those containers put out of the wagon and onto a pallet on the floor, and at that point the job will then change its emphasis.
Is that everyone? One drum short. Got it.
The leaking drums of tetrachloroethylene have been resealed and isolated. The danger's over. All that's left to do is to clear up the side effects of the operation. At Old Swan, it's shift change and time for Red Watch to go home.
Come on, you be a star.
Just flick it. Okay.
Is it home time?
I don't know. I've left it wherever you picked it up.
Why, he's got his coat on,
Really? 7 minutes? It's half of the shipping away, don't you?
Stand by for time test, 1800.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, you got? Yeah. Okay, Reg. See you in the morning.
Thanks for your efforts.
Evening, Green Watch. Grade Sean. South 81, Station Officer Devlin. Okay, check your B8. Anything, Tony?
That's it.
Fall out. Thank you.
No sooner have Red Watch left than a warehouse blaze breaks out in the city centre. Low Hills Station Officer Kim Ellison is in charge.
It's a big long run from Scotty, but we will be able to reach it. As soon as he's ready, he's going to open up.
In these circumstances, certainly looking at it being suspicious because of the fact that there were open doors at the rear.
The building is empty, but Kim has his work cut out.
Stop the spread of fire into this building and hopefully stop the building collapsing on the outside. That's my main concern at the moment, is safety of crews and also passers-by. If you could just keep well clear of the face of the building just in case anything comes.
To stop the fire spreading, firefighters must get in close and tackle the blaze from the nearest vantage point. In this case, the top floor and roof of the office building next door.
I'll ask you for a short extension ladder, just so we can get up and down here easier.
Like out there.
Very smoky.
Firefighter Paul Moss and his team have found a narrow ledge on the side of the roof to use as a platform to attack the fire. Down below, senior officers are planning the next move.
Get into roof space and check to make sure that there isn't a roof space, it's a roof, and it's access from the top floor of this building straight onto the roof.
Not all of Red Watch have gone straight home.
When you've been in work all day and you've been going to bin bags, false alarms, absolute nothing, calls from kids in phone boxes, you knock off at 6 o'clock and you hear on the news at 7 o'clock that someone's got a big job, and that's frustrating.
Which is just because we can't do what we're trained to do.
And if you miss it,
bloody annoying.
In the city centre, the warehouse is still blazing. The fire is being attacked from above and from the roof of the building next door, where Paul Moss and his team are working on an unprotected ledge.
Well, it's about half out, but it's still going in the roof space, so now we're starting to take the roof off. Ready to work. Yeah! Excuse me 1 minute.
There's an unprotected 60-foot drop to Paul's right.
Yeah, I'll have another one.
if the fire brigade can't help you, who can?
That's true, that. Who do you phone then? If the fire brigade can't cope, who do you phone?
We're the last emergency service.
Except for Thunderbirds.
The first fire call for Old Swan's night shift is to reports of a red Ford Escort on fire. It's the same red Ford Escort their colleagues on Red Watch had been to earlier in the day.
Came on at 6 o'clock, turned out to a frequent area of calls, the back of Duffcoff shops, to a motor car which has been set on fire, as it appears, maliciously. And they're still trying to put it out. You will notice that the local natives are a bit restless around here. You've probably already found that out. I've requested the police, but as you know, all walks of life, they're very busy, so
a lot of the time they can't get to cars as quickly as they'd probably like to. So they'll arrive at some time in the future to take the car away. There they are now.
The warehouse blaze is coming under control. Paul Moss has made a safe descent from the 60-foot ledge where he was hit by a water cannon.
It's just smoky, as you can see while you're up there. Now and again the wind would blow and clear the smoke, and you could see through the roof into the fire, and then the wind would change direction again and the smoke would drop. So 90% of the time you're working blind in the smoke. The water jet came through the roof and hit me in the chest, knocking me backwards. As you saw, there was a 60-foot drop behind me, and if one of the other lads hadn't jumped on top of me and dragged me backwards, I would have fallen down.
Jack Maddox owns the building next to the warehouse. Paul Moss and the team were using his offices as a base to attack the fire.
Must have been quite close because, see, the wall's very hot.
Still hot now?
Feel it. Make toast.
This is the first time Jack can see the damage to his office.
What state of the floors in it? Gone.
The fire has completely gutted the warehouse next door.
Is our roof all right?
That's what I'm going to check.
I'll have a look too.
We've got a few fires still burning.
You seem very philosophical.
Just a few hot spots.
As a child, I watched this city burn in the May Blitz. This is small compared with that.
It's just a winding down now. We're getting rid of a couple of machines. Just dealing with hot spots. We'll get some more machines away, and eventually the whole thing will be out and we'll be finished. You've got to make sure the thing is completely out before you go, because you certainly don't want to be coming back here later on tonight,
The leak of tetrachloroethylene required the attentions of 5 fire engines for 11 hours. The brigade is trying to recover its expenses from the shipping company responsible for delivering the container, a bill of over £16,000. The Ford Escort turned out to belong to the Mayor of Ellesmere Port. He was paid £2,100 by his insurance company and recently bought himself another car. The new one has an immobiliser. One-day-old baby Jasmine Farhan was treated for weak lungs at Leicester's Glenfield Hospital. She's now back at home and doing well. Red Watch didn't end the day as fire heroes, but they did get their picture in the paper.
80% survival chance. 80% survival. Yeah. Who's that then, Tom? It's me. Oh, that's Carl, that's you. It's me. That's Phil, is it? That's the handsome one. Yeah. Right. Back to work.